Oh my god, how on earth do you navigate through all this?
But this particular time it's come up, it's red, it's hurting.
Come on then, shares your hopscotch.
This morning, it's very early, it's about 6:30. We're just picking our way through the narrow passage with coral reefs on either side to get ourselves to Tarempa, where we have to check out day after tomorrow. It's a very beautiful Sunday morning over here in Indonesia.
Just nice to get some decent sun and not much cloud, because for the last 2 days it's been pretty overcast, very windy, which is a problem going into Tremper. If you remember, in the anchorage of Tremper, when it was really windy when we checked in, it was horrendous, the worst anchorage we'd ever been in. So it's nice to see that the wind has abated and the clouds have disappeared. The forecast is quite calm for the next few days, which is good. Right now we are going through an area up the east side of the island and around the top to Tremper. Now this is the area that when I first looked at the charts of the Anambas before we came here, this area I thought, oh my god, how on earth do you navigate through all this? Because it's just patches and patches of green, which is reef. Then someone told me that Navionics is out. I thought, well, it's impossible surely to navigate around here. So as a consequence, we are running Navionics on the phone, Navionics on the chart plotter, also running CMAP on the phone, Overtool, which is running Google Earth, and also a new navigation system, or a kind of chart plotter system, which is very similar to Overtool, which is called Offline Maps, all-in-one Offline Maps, which our new friend John, who we met in Moonrock Bay, recommended to us. Now this can use any number of different maps, and we've chosen to use the Esri maps because the Esri maps have very, very good detail of Tarempa itself. So we've got all these sources of information which we're using to work our way through. As it happens, of course, we also have waypoints. The waypoints are pretty reliable. So it should be pretty straightforward, but it's always good to arm yourself with as much information as possible. And so we've got all of these different sources of information to work our way through this dotted reefed area. Here we are, Tarempa town, we made it. And you may be able to see just how close we are. We are, I don't know, 100 meters or so away from the harbour wall, so we are very, very close. But fortunately it's a lovely bright day at the moment, at least, and there appears to be little swell coming in, and that, if you remember, that was the problem that we had last time. So we anchored much further up there and got caught out by that southwesterly swell coming around the west coast and back into the anchorage. So hopefully this should be a little bit safer. Not completely happy with being so close to the harbour wall, but the prevailing winds will tend to push us away unless we get a freak northerly. But we have it on good authority that we're actually anchored in sand, just in this little spot here. So this is yet another recommendation from the Howarths. Thanks guys. We'll see how we get on, but not sure how long we're going to spend in Tarempa. We've obviously got to check out, but we do want to go and have a little look around, because last time it was very rainy and not very pleasant, so it'd be nice to at least just walk the streets and go and check out the Chinese temple and pick up some beer, of course, and see what Tarempa's all about before we check out. This is the main street in Tarempa. There's literally just one street. It's not particularly big, quite noisy with all the motorbikes going past, but it's only 10 in the morning, so not much is open. However, we have a rather splendid looking fruit and veg stall just there, and there's one just there, and we've come to what is now our favourite coffee shop. We're looking for a chemist because I seem to have some flesh-eating skin disease. After Millie scratched me on my leg, I've got a big, I don't know, something's happening. Anyway, we've been following a little sign on our charts to see if we can find a recommended chemist. And we've turned round a corner to where we thought it was, and instead we've ended up at the end of the street, and we are surrounded by kids playing hopscotch. Hello.
Hello.
Come on then, share us your hopscotch. That's not really hopscotch, is it? Go on, play. Hop, hop, hop. There we go. Look at this cheeky little girl. So I've left Liz behind at the bottom of the hill. I thought I would climb up here to see if I could get a view of the port, because I haven't been flying the drone, not here, because there's a whacking great big naval ship. Didn't really fancy the idea of flying the drone around the naval ship, so I thought I'd walk up here, see if I can catch a view. But of course, it's hot, it's sweaty, but perhaps the highlight for me is some classic English graffiti. Well, there she is. There's Esper over my right shoulder. I don't know, can you see her? Looking okay at the moment. Wind is blowing from over the top of the hill, so she's been blown out into the harbour, which is good. It's a bit disconcerting seeing her so close to that harbour wall. But anyway, it's quite a steep climb up to the top of this hill, and it's a nice little view, but it's just getting so hot. Absolutely cloudless day. This is the first cloudless day we've had in probably a week or so. Well, I say cloudless, I mean it's cloudless over there anyway. Better go back to Liz, see what she's up to at the bottom of the hill. Hi, how are you? So we're in the apothecary. Liz, tell me about my horrible skin disease.
Millie scratched you on the leg, which she does do occasionally, she scratches, but this particular time it's come up, it's red, and it's hurting, so we think we need to put something on it.
Sorry, ini antibiotik.
Antibiotic, yeah. Okay.
3 kali 1 pagi, neck. 3 kali 1.
Okay, 3 times a day.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand. Yep. Okay. Terima kasih.
So here on almost the furthest point of the west side of the bay is a Chinese Buddhist temple, built up into the hills, lots of red, lucky colour, and the usual paraphernalia that you see in a temple, except for people. There's nobody here but us chickens. It's great. You've got a great view right across the bay, fantastic view, and it's the middle of the day and we're boiling hot, can't stop sweating, but it's nice and cool up here, so I think I might be here for a while.
As you may be able to tell, or maybe you can't, but we are leaving. So yesterday we were giving a little tour of Tarempa. What we didn't realise at the time was that it was actually a national holiday. So nothing was open, so we couldn't check out even if we wanted to. We couldn't provision, couldn't do any shopping. Pretty much everything was closed. So this morning we got up early and we have now checked out. And we've bought a few vegetables, which is quite good. Always good to have a fresh veg on board. There's not much to say really, and not much to see because the light is not great. It's a little bit overcast. Rather than stay in Tremper another night, we've decided to push off and we're going to head back down to a place called Talaga, which we stayed at before, but that was just before a horrible southwesterly squall came through for a few days. So we're hoping that we'll get down there this afternoon with enough light to anchor off the reef, and then if it cheers up a bit tomorrow we might be able to show you a bit more of that, because certainly from the satellite images it looks very interesting. But here we are saying goodbye officially to the Anambas. I think it's going to take us a few days to make our way west and unofficially leave, but yeah, that's it. We're done for this year. So we wave goodbye to Tarempa and start thinking about heading back west.
So all that information on navigating through reefs and round islands, and you still didn't know where west was. Oh dear.
Yeah, well, okay, so what we were going to do was, after this episode, we were actually going to talk a bit more about all that navigation equipment. We actually recorded it, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it ended up being about 10 minutes long, so it was a little bit too long to append to the end of this episode. So what we've decided to do is to make that an extra, and it's going to come out tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe to our channel and you'll get a notification when that comes out, and we'll just be talking in a bit more detail about all the different types of navigation sources we use whilst navigating.
And a little bit about reefs as well, particularly.
Yep.
So a few people have said when they've been watching the videos that your beard keeps changing. 1 minute it's long, next minute it's short. They're getting a bit confused. Where are we at the moment? Sort of medium long at the moment. Can you explain?
It's my magic beard. Now, do you know what? I saw the comments. I thought it was a bit obvious actually. We're recording these end pieces retrospectively, and in fact we're doing them as we're editing the videos. So really it's just our way of sort of, you know, winding up the episode and perhaps talking a little bit more about what happened and try and make it a bit educational as well. So it's just recorded a little bit later from the actual episode you see, hence my forever changing beard. I don't know, should I grow it really long?
Leave it.
Leave it. A couple of weeks ago we sent out an email to our website mailing list, and we inadvertently got the subject line wrong, and we said that we were going live and we want your questions. So a whole load of you sent us a load of questions,
Yeah.
but we weren't going live at the time. But
We are going to be going live, and we've been wanting to go live for about a month now, but we haven't been anywhere with good enough Wi-Fi. We can upload and emails and things, but it needs to be really strong for us to do a live broadcast. So We're heading north, and we've got a few stops along the way, and one or two of them may have really good Wi-Fi. If they do, we will do a live broadcast and we will notify you beforehand, so make sure you subscribe and you get that notification, because you're probably not going to have much warning on this. And it's going to be on the refit, and we are going to address the question of money, how much it cost, and go into a little bit of detail about it. So I know a lot of people are very interested in that.
Yes, it's the long-awaited one, and a lot of you have been asking about it. And from our point of view, it's going to take quite a bit of time to set up, because we really do want to cover off every single aspect, from the carpentry to the osmosis treatment, the spray painting, removal of dirt, everything. So, and we want to kind of illustrate it with some pictures and also get our sums right as well to give you as much information as possible.
Yes, we don't need questions on that. We've had plenty of questions and we have a lot of information to give to you guys, but we'll take your questions as we go.
Great. Talking of questions then, so just a couple of questions from the email mailing list.
Yeah.
I've got them here. John Christopher asks, how is the workmanship of the interior refit holding up? What do you reckon, Liz?
The interior specifically, I think pretty bloody good, really. I think it's really good. I mean, the colour has gone slightly darker. We knew that was going to happen because that's just wear and tear. But generally, it's in pretty bloody good nick. Yeah, very happy with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think the only things are really cosmetic, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we did use this kind of very thick plasboard Formica type surface in the galley. That hasn't really held up well.
No,
it's bubbled a bit and it's got a bit discoloured, hasn't it? That was a bit of a disappointment. The lovely sky blue covers for our sofas, which we are sitting on now, as you can see, have covers on them, and that's because a certain someone likes sharpening their claws on them. So
yeah, we didn't get that right at all. We put some new fabric in my office, which is great. She can sharpen away and it really does well, but this is hopeless. Also, it just gets so dirty so quickly, so I think we need to rethink that. We will be recovering it at some stage, but we've got more important things to do at the moment.
The only other thing, I think we could have made the swimming platform a little bit higher.
Yeah.
That was one thing. And then, of course, we are going to be heading north, as Liz says, and that is to do some adjustments to Esper's cockpit, chiefly to build a hard dodger.
Yes.
We should have done that in the refit.
Yes.
But aside from that, all good. Really happy with the refit.
And there was one other question?
Oh yes, the other question was from Anna, and she says, I was wondering what you guys do with the rubbish whilst at sea.
It's a really big question, a very big question.
But it's one that we have already answered, Anna. If you look back, in fact, we'll put a link in the description, or look at it in our playlist, in our Q&A playlist. We did a whole episode on what we do with our trash.
Yes, and it's really controversial, isn't it, apparently, what you should and shouldn't do with your trash. So, yeah, check the link.
Let us know what you think in the comments. If you like the episode, then please do share it, because it really helps us. Hit that like button. What else? Do all those things on social media,
Subscribe.
please. Yeah,
Everything.
It really does help us. So
Yes.
thank you, and always want to know what you have to think. Comments below. In the meantime,
Peace and fair winds.